Alright, May 17, 2019. And look at these fishes. And if we don't disturb them, they will do what fishes do in the spring. And they wiggle together all through the anacharis and the duckweed, and it's just really nice to see. But no one cares about goldfish mating. Everyone hates that idea anyway. Too many of them on the planet. Okay. Next thing is, oh, there we go. I replaced one of my filter barrels. Why? Because I re-drilled the hole, this guy, for this pipe down lower so that I got better flow. So I turned up my pump, but everything's lower now because it's the stems in each of these barrels that sets the water level. And also this. So there's my old barrel. When I tried to drill the hole, I messed it up. So luckily I had a replacement barrel. Why did I do that? I was having good flow though beforehand, and the main reason is because I have integrated that round grow bed into my system, which I will get to here in a second. Here's a garden update. The kiwis are popping. Lots of thornless or supposedly thornless blackberry seedlings popping up, which I am taking out. I don't like them. And this hot spicy greens plant is flowering, and I've seen like 3 different kinds of bees and a fly, a couple different kinds of flies, one that looks like a bee, and like there's just tons of jumping spiders all through it. And actually I also saw a orchid spider, which there it is now. Check it out, it's crouching. Alright, cool. How cool is that? Man, it is primed. It's like a bear trap. It's ready to how cool. I don't know if there's an orchid spider, but it's kind of that's the idea. And he's not the right color to blend in with these, but I guess he does alright. I found him because there was a bee that wasn't moving, and I said, oh, that's crazy, I wonder what's happening. And it was because he was, the bee was a victim of that little white spider. How cool, I've never seen one here before today. Okay, sorry dude, get out of the way. Jumping spiders were all in here. There was a fly that looked like a bee that kept landing right here, and then the jumping spiders were tussling with it. It was crazy. It would land down there, and then they'd have a standoff, and then they'd finally he'd get up his gumption and go for it. And the bee always won, or the fly that looked like a bee. See, look, there's a jumping spider right there. And they're everywhere. If you hold still and just sit for a little while, I saw 4 or 5 of them just in this little section of bed. Marshmallow plant is blowing up. Tomato plant yeah, it's doing okay. Spinach plant, yep, I've never snipped any spinach. Salmonberry plant is, boom, right there. Technically alive. 3 leaves is better than no leaves. Okay. Bell pepper, and that guy I think is dead, dying. It got girdled by the slugs, I think. And then the beans, a few of them were able to grow faster than the slugs could eat and have grown out, and they're just throwing out leaves fast. Raspberries are very green and growing. Everything's growing. It's springtime, which is so nice, instead of having these vacant beds. Red currant bush is huge, and I can't wait for it to fruit. Oh, and look at this. the citronella. Oh, and it just straight smells like whatever those citronella things, the candles or whatever. And look at the flowers, delicate and pink. I have not seen any bugs flying in there, so maybe it's a specialized pollinator. But all the flies and bees, I haven't seen them show any interest. And the orange tree and all the loganberry plant is covered in berries, and we've got one just about good one right down there. Boom. Okay, now last thing, not much. I covered my discharge here because there was too much algae building up. So now there is no algae, but now I've got snails. So it's a fair trade-off, I guess. This is a little test bed for sand for sprouting seedlings in. And then I'm not sure, but it's an idea. No sprouting has happened yet, but we'll see. Golden beets. And the only one that hasn't done well, I think, is that little guy. But all the other ones, so it was a 6-pack. Boom. And the kale. Okay. Looks okay. Technically alive. And the grapes. No wrath here. And look at this nice round leaf. That looks like a real grape leaf. Except it was eaten on one side. And tomato. 2 tomatoes. One here, one there. And the coffee bean bush, but just about dead and dying. I think it's gonna do it like the marshmallow, where the top dies off, but all these little sticks and stuff are gonna survive, and then next year it's gonna grow out like crazy. I like the idea of maybe growing something for more than a year. That seems more successful than every year you gotta plant, you gotta buy new whatever. All right, check it out. So my supply pipe comes right there, goes from 2-inch down to 1-inch, up this clever arrangement of pipes and boards, over and down into that grow bed. And then it zigzags through the grow bed into the discharge. Boom, boom. Only one pipe across the cement. And then it's kind of ganky. It has to go up, so there's always water sitting in the drain pipe. And then it goes through here, which is again very ganky. And I just drilled a hole. I didn't have the right part. I thought I did. And I didn't check, and now I'm paying the price. But I managed to seal it off pretty well with a Ziploc bag. I made a small hole in the bag and then forced the pipe through, and that stretched the plastic around the pipe, and then I put it in, and the water came up and pushed it in and made a good seal. So I'm pretty clever with water. Okay, and then acorn squash, cilantro, and I don't like cilantro that much, but I had a 6-pack I had to plant. This was from the store, organic lettuce, buy it with the roots on. And both of these were just cut off. And the green one is actually alive and like leafing. And the red one is, I'm not sure. So we'll find out. And actually maybe I should have separated those two instead of, but that probably would have been more trauma to the roots. Okay. Well, that's my story. Now I've got another bed behind it that's not lined. It's going to be. And that's probably going to be my project for the weekend. And running out of time, so there's a quick look at the sump tanks. And that's it, May 17th.